Hello and welcome. As promised, I'm going to do a little Victoria Beckham Beauty centered video. I just want to give a disclaimer though, I don't have that many things from Victoria Beckham, so I am going to use the small selection of things that I own, but it's by far not like very comprehensive or extensive. So I recommend other creators if you're interested to see more of her line. Amongst others, I will mention them again, but Sonia Butler and Martina Lily both have a lot more from Victoria. But anyway, I'm going to start doing my makeup and then we can chat whilst doing that, because I'm actually I'm running a little bit late. I'm going to take the Inglot Eyeshadow Keeper as my eyeshadow base as usual. So the products that I did purchase with Black Friday now were one of her contour sticks, another one of her cream blushes, and one of her stick highlighters, and I got those in a bundle. Like over Black Friday she had these really beautiful curated sets. I thought they were actually very nicely curated, and you could get several of the products that fit together thematically in a kit. And I wanted to get one of those contour blush stick highlighter things because I thought it was a beautiful combination of products. Taking a tiny bit of Ori Glow Last. The only thing is that because I hesitated for quite a few days while the sale was running, if and what I wanted to get, a lot of the shades had already sold out. I did get the blush that I wanted. I did not really get the contour stick that is technically meant for my skin tone because the two lighter shades were already sold out. Taking the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in the shade Deauville, and what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I ended up getting one of the darker contour sticks, which ultimately I think was probably not the worst thing in the world, because when contour colors are in the lighter spectrum, sometimes they can pull really strange tones on me, like very gray or greenish gray. So I actually don't mind that the color is a little bit deeper, because it is I can work with deeper colors, I can sheer them out if they are versatile like that, which I already thought this product probably will be. And the tones usually look a little bit better on me. They look a little bit more like neutral cool, and there isn't that weird ashy gray cast that I often get from the lighter contour type colors. I'm going to conceal with my absolute favorite Dior Skin Correct in the shade 1N. Like I said, I got the blush color that I wanted. It's the shade Fever, which unfortunately, again, giving a little heads up, I'm not going to show you today because it is so the wrong color for this season. I'm going to show it to you in a bit, and it's so not at all going to fit with the vibes of the look that I'm going for. But don't fret, I have another one of her cream blushes that I purchased with Black Friday last year, so I am going to use that. And we are going to come back and use the shade Fever another time in the near future when it fits the bill a little bit better, because today it really just, no matter how I spin it in my mind, it just so doesn't fit the look that I'm going for. Taking the Dior Backstage Powder in the shade 2N to set my foundation. And if you're wondering what kind of color Fever is, I will show it to you in a bit, but it is essentially the cream version of Electric Bloom from Pat McGrath Lab. So that beautiful very vibrant coral shade, absolutely gorgeous, kind of shade that I'm sure will look great on me, but so not the kind of shade that is going to fit today's look, because today we're going for something a little bit more neutral to cool toned. Taking the Too Faced Laminating Brow Wax, and last but not least, like I said, I got one of the two highlighter sticks that she has, but the sort of warmer, deeper shade was already sold out. So I got the shade Pearl, which is very pretty, and it actually is beautiful for the winter because it is a little bit more on the cooler side. Honestly, Pearl is the absolute most perfect description for this color. You will see it in a bit, but it is exactly the color of a oyster pearl. And I've already tried everything, FYI, except for the blush, the Fever color. I've already tried the contour stick on Saturday and I think Friday. and I've already worn the highlighter once as well, so at least I can also give you a few thoughts on how they wear and how they look throughout the day, because that's always useful information. Alright, starting off with one of the new products that I picked up from her, which is, like I said, the little contour stick. The shade that I have is Sandstone. And like I said, Sandstone is, as you can see, a rather dark shade. I'm going to apply it like this, a little bit more concentrated so you can see, and then I'm going to blend it out a bit so that you can see how it blends out. On the skin, this tends to translate rather like neutral cool on me. The first time I used this, I use it by applying it on a brush and stippling it on my face. But I'm so curious how this will apply and blend out when I apply it as like a stick here. I really want to try that, although every time I think about it I want to chicken out because I think it's going to be a disaster to blend out. But you know, the ultimate test for this formula and its blendability will be really to apply it like this. So I'm going to apply it that way, and then I'm going to take my Sculpt 4 from Sonia G and I'm going to sort of like flick the product up and blend it out just to see how that goes. And if I really don't like it, I'm going to use my brush method like I did before. But I'm just going to apply a little line here like this. I never apply anything like this. I never apply any sort of like cream or stick product like that, so that's it's very unnatural for me. So this is blending out fine. I think you don't have to worry about the product not blending out. And as you can see, it was quite dark on my skin, but I managed to blend it out to a very acceptable tone, and it is actually a really beautiful contour shade on me, because as you can see it looks rather neutral, slightly cool, but there is no like weird gray cast, or it doesn't look like the wrong undertone for me, which will often be the case. Now that went relatively well. I do have to say though, I think it just goes a little bit faster if I put it on my brush and then apply it like this. But anyway, I'm going to apply just a tiny bit more. Maybe actually applying dotties like this is better than the line. And then I'm going to blend that out. Now I'm not going to apply a bronzer today because we're going for a somewhat, you know, more cool toned look anyway. And this is the kind of product that in the winter I would use on its own without any sort of bronzer, because I think it's not really necessary to apply a bronzer. I think this looks really nice. I'm going to actually, okay, let's do the little line first, and then if necessary apply a little bit more. Anyway, so I applied the little contour thing and I quite like it. I think it's a really nice product. You've already heard from other people that there isn't really a lot of product in here. It's only like, it is 1.1 grams. I forgot to say though, as usual, sorry, that was unscripted. What I wanted to say, as usual, I really appreciate Victoria Beckham's packaging. I think she just does such a great job with her outer packaging. I'm in awe of her whole brand, because I think it's so classily done. Anyway, let's proceed. I'm quickly going to swatch the new shade that I bought for you. So that would be the shade Fever. And if you didn't know, her blushes also come in these little tortoise shell packaging, just like her eyeshadow palettes and her bronzers. Very hefty, very pretty. Again, on the tinier side. I think last year when I tried my first one of these colors, I said that it looked a bit like a lipstick. So this is the shade Fever. It is beautiful. So this is how it looks like, and when you blend it out, it's really that like classic vibrant coral. It is stunning, but it so isn't going to fit with the little contour that I have and Pearl, and maybe it will be fine with the shade Pearl, but like with the contour and with the eye look that I'm going for, it's just not going to work out. So I'm going to I'm going to take the other shade that I have, which is the shade Playground, which is this beautiful, much more like neutral blush with a little bit of like a cinnamon tone to it. I really love this color, and that I'm going to apply as I usually do, which is I grab my little synthetic brush here, I apply the product, and then I stipple it on my face. Now theoretically, one could also just bronze up a little bit, because as you can see, the contour is basically doing what it should. It's a contour, but I don't really feel the need to also bronze. I'm just going to apply a generous amount of this beautiful, beautiful blush. I already have experience with this formula. It's a very flattering texture on the skin. It sort of has like this demi-matte finish. It's not a very glowy blush. Think of the blushes from Pat McGrath Labs. The blushes from Pat McGrath Labs, I think, have quite a little bit of glow to them. They are a bit more like a balm, which is also what they are advertised as. But this one really has much more of a demi-matte finish to it, which probably is something that one would prefer if they have more oily skin, or if they wanted to easily layer powder products over top of the blush. I think it's a little bit easier with a formula like this. And the other thing I wanted to comment on it, that's something important I think always to comment for when it comes to cream products, it lasts really well on the skin. I haven't really had any issues with this not really lasting a whole day on my skin, so there's that. And the final new product that I'm going to show you today is the highlighter stick. I got mine in the shade Pearl, which is so beautiful. Look at like the little white detailing here on the packaging with the logo, and the beautiful ridged vintage looking packaging. You gotta give it to Posh. When people named her Posh Spice, they really knew what they were talking about. So this is the shade Pearl. So Pearl it's a very interesting formula, because can you see it looks like slightly wet on the, not slightly, it looks really wet on the skin, but it's not really glittery, and it doesn't look like sweat on your skin. It just looks like this beautiful, like I came out of the water, mermaidy kind of look on the skin. It's really, really pretty. It's a bit more on the cooler tone side. I've already tried several ways to apply this product. I tried it with my fingers, was okay, but I prefer not to. I tried it with a brush. I tried this brush from ColourPop, which is a synthetic brush. Wasn't a huge fan because I felt like not much was coming off of the brush. So I'm going to try with yet another method today. I'm going to take my sponge here and I'm going to apply the product like that. And it's just a very natural kind of highlighter. So if you prefer highlighters that are, you know, more on the natural side and will give you that lit from within kind of look, this is exactly what you're looking for. There's not a speck of glitter in here. It's just glow. And again, I've worn this once already, so I know how it performs throughout the day. It just kind of stays like this beautiful glow. It doesn't become more sweaty or more unpleasant looking. It doesn't look like you have grease on your skin. It stays basically like this. It's really pretty. I think it applied very seamlessly. It was very easy. It came off the sponge rather well, and it is a little bit sticky. Like the blush, it really sets to like this demi-matte finish and it's really not sticky at all. This one is a little bit sticky and I feel like maybe it remains sticky, and the reason I got the stick highlighter is basically I wanted to have something in a texture that is more similar to my cream products, especially like the balms from Pat McGrath and these blushes from Victoria Beckham, because you can work with a powder over top of these textures, not a problem at all. I've been doing it for years, but somehow my brain feels like the textures of a cream fit better with the textures of another cream, which is why I really wanted to have like a good high quality cream highlighter, and I think this is really nice, really universal. Maybe it will be a little bit too ashen for me in the like summertime, but if I really, really like the formula so much, I can always go back and pick up the more goldeny, deeper shade. Alright, and for the rest of this look, there's only one more product from Victoria Beckham that I'm going to use, and it is one of my absolute favorites, and that is the Signature Eye Color Quad. I really love this thing. I haven't really used it like a lot on my channel, which is why I don't know that you really understand how much I have enjoyed this, and I do tend to prefer it a little bit in the winter over the summer, because the shades in here are much more in the neutral cool range, and and they don't really fit with a lot of the things that I do in the summer, but in the winter they're absolute perfection. I bought this quad with the idea that I'm going to use it to pair with a bunch of other products that I have in my collection when I want something really easy in my crease, and that is exactly what it is. I'm going to grab the lightest shade here to put through my crease. This shade is quite light in tone and it barely even shows up on my skin, but what you really can do with a product like this is you can really mix and match. So what I will do after I apply this shade quite generously through my ridiculously big crease is that I will dip in one of the slightly deeper brown shades. So I'll go in with a bit of this and then a bit of this, but like the absolute tiniest kiss, and I will apply that as well through my crease. And that is why I really enjoy this product. It looks very flattering on the skin, but it is also quite versatile because of the way the product is laid out. You can mix things together or you can keep them to their, you know, respective color families. It's just a very versatile product for me, and I've ended up actually using it and enjoying it a lot, even though it is literally the most boring palette in her collection. Like her collection can't really be called very exciting in terms of like sparkle level or color stories, but it is such high quality and so well thought out. Like this is the perfect little color story if you're just looking for a few mattes to do really basic looks with. If that's your vibe, Victoria got you covered. Next, I'm going to take a little pencil brush and go into the deepest shade over here and apply that as I usually do, in a little bit of that winged eyeliner shape close to my lashes. I don't have any of her pencil liners. I know they are very, very popular and supposedly extremely similar to the Seamless Glide from Lisa Eldridge, but like I'm not a huge pencil person, so I didn't really feel the need to pick up any of her liners. If she comes out with like really fun shades, I think she had a couple of really fun shades for the summer, so if there was ever a time for me to pick up a fun shade from her, it was the summer, but I sort of missed them this year. So maybe next year, if she comes out with something really exciting and fun, I will pick up one of her liners. I do actually have one more product from her in terms of like an eyeshadow. I have one of her cream pots, but I've already done a look with it when I did my first demo last year with that. So I'm just going to leave a link to that here or somewhere so that you can watch the look that I created with that, because I don't really want to repeat myself. That was more or less it for the Victoria Beckham products. I'm going to take a little bit of my NYX glitter glue now, and we're going to go into other brands. Overall, I really enjoy the products that I have purchased from her. Like I said, gorgeous packaging, very classy, very well thought out. She doesn't release too many things. She really releases things that fit very well into her brand aesthetic, and I really appreciate that, and I'm always like looking forward to see what she's going to come out with next, even if it is not for me. The only product from her that I decluttered, thank goodness it was quite easy to sell, was her lipstick. I bought one of the lipsticks. I bought one of the lipsticks with my first order from her, and I really didn't like the color on me. It was too light, and it was making the white crusty line because it was so light and so nude, and I just knew that it's not a color for me. Okay, now we're going into Pat McGrath Labs territory, and I'm going to take one of my absolute favorite neutral shades of all time, which is Golden Polaris here from the Interstellar Icon Quad. I'm going to put this shade all over my lid, and I'm now realizing that I actually prefer to just do this on my finger. Oh, look how beautiful that is. I will never get over how beautiful this eyeshadow is. And I'm going to apply this as my little neutral lid shade today. Just gorgeous. And this is basically the kind of thing that I really love to do with the Victoria Beckham quad. I like to think of a lid shade, like a neutral lid shade that I would like to wear for the day, and then I'm going to bust out the quad, because I think it's just so easy to pop everything else and then do whatever neutral shade you want on your lids, especially if you have a somewhat more cooler look in mind. Sometimes I will keep a look like this really simple. I'll just put something in my inner corners that is like quite highlighty, a bit of the browns on my lower lashes, and I'll call it a day. But I'm feeling a little bit extra today, so I'm going to dip into the Bobbi Brown palette. I can't remember the Looks and Eye Cheek palette in the shade Moonstone Glow, something with Moonstone. And I'm going to take one of these two toppery shades. I'm going to maybe take this one. And I'm going to apply just the tiniest bit over top of Golden Polaris for extra glimmer on the lids. Like I said, not necessarily because Golden Polaris needs it, but because I'm feeling a little bit extra today. And I want all the beautiful sparkle. And again, not a necessary step. Like I said, you can also just pop something really neutral in your inner corners, but I'm going to grab for the Looks eyeshadow from Bobbi Brown in the shade Cosmic, which is this beautiful pale green, and I'm going to apply that in my inner corners because I've got the little green details in my accessories today, the band of my watch and my earrings. For the rest, my clothing is in like pretty neutral colors, so I'm going to pop a little bit of this shade. And I really like what a subtle green it is. It is not a very punchy green. I have definitely punchier greens in my collection. It just has the most subtle mint green glow, and it is such a fun little pop of color, such a fun little accent. I love it. And finally, I'm going to finish off my lower lash line with a little bit of the browns from Victoria Beckham. So I'm just going to mix the two darker browns and run those on my lower lashes. And especially for those of you who are fans of Sparkle Moment, here is Sparkle Moment for you. Also for me, gosh, this looks beautiful under artificial lighting. The combination of Golden Polaris and that Bobbi Brown shade truly is phenomenal. And I'm guessing that most of you probably already know what lipstick I'm wearing, but just in case you don't, I'm wearing Velvet Decade from Lisa Eldridge, the most beautiful chocolate brown lipstick ever created. I just love how it looks with this makeup look. I was going to go for like a red or something in the pink color family, but then I decided that I want to keep it really neutral with that little touch of green in my inner corners, and I really love how the look turned out. I'm super curious what you thought about this look. Do let me know in the comment section below, especially what you think about the Victoria Beckham products like the contour stick and the highlighter that tend to be new in my collection. I'm really happy with everything that I picked up. Obviously, I haven't used the blush shade yet, so we are going to come back and test that on camera, but I have no doubts that it will be the kind of color that looks very flattering on me, and I already know the formula, so I think I'm going to love it. This was basically the safest product in the whole trio that I picked up, but the two new products, the highlighter and the contour stick, are really gorgeous. I love them. I am developing a dangerously soft spot for Victoria Beckham Beauty, and I'm a little bit worried about it because her makeup is really expensive. But you know, I've turned into such a bougie bitch lately that it's to no one's surprise that I'm really enjoying her brand, because it is really up there in the tier of luxury makeup. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now. I'm going to get to work. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video, and actually in the comment section below. Bye!